Guys, welcome back to MSC Meraviglia. I'm on here for 10 nights on a cruise out of New York City, up through New England and into Canada and then back down. So today in this video we're going to cover two ports. I this morning have just woke up in somewhere that looks absolutely beautiful. Now if I take you outside, this is Sydney in Nova Scotia. So I'm going to take you ashore here, and then tomorrow we're heading up to Charlottetown, which is a new Canadian province. New port for me, so I, right now, have no idea what to expect, but in this video I'm going to cover here in Sydney and also Charlottetown. Now, rather than talk to you about the plan for today here in the cabin, let's head up to the top deck. Let me show you around and tell you where we're hoping to go today. Guys, can you even believe this is Canada? So we are currently on the top deck. It's the 30th of September, so right at the end of the month. People are sunbathing. I'm regretting having jeans on. Long may this continue, because yesterday was pretty cold. So I'm hoping if we can get a day at sea like this before we're going back to New York, I'm going to be delighted. But look, plan for today. So as you know, I usually plug the daily schedule on basically every single vlog, but you'll get one of these delivered to your cabin every single morning. And this basically tells you what's going on around the ship, what time you can get off, when you can come back on, right? So we docked this morning at 8 o'clock and we are due to leave at 6:30. So our all aboard is 6 p.m. Now I will put a disclaimer out to say that we ain't going ashore for the whole day because it's currently early afternoon. So as you know, I quite enjoy having a leisurely morning on the ship and then heading off late morning, early afternoon. Now, that appears to be loads of time to explore this area, and in fact, there's quite a lot of people already coming back to the ship, so I am absolutely not concerned. Now, we're going to do two things today. The first thing is head along to Sydney's #1 tourist attraction. Now, believe it or not, that is called the Giant Fiddle, and I know that leaves very little to the imagination. Essentially, what that is a giant fiddle that apparently sometimes plays music, sometimes people dance to it. I'm not overly sure what to expect from that, but we're going to go anyway because it's #1. And the second thing that we're going to do today is head along and check out what should hopefully be a cute little Canadian downtown area, which should only be about a 10-minute walk from here. After that, we're going to come back and enjoy some of the ship. And being perfectly honest, if this stays like this, in fact I can't even take them off, we're going to do some sunbathing because this will be absolutely beautiful after a cold day at sea. So look, come and join me. Let's head ashore and explore a brand new part of Canada together. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Hang on. He told us he was getting off the ship and it looks like he's still there. So yes, I am. The irony in this is great. So basically I have just over there recorded a video clip to talk to you guys on YouTube about some of the things that I've done to try and miss home less while I'm spending all this time travelling. Now, straight after recording that, I walked over to the side of the ship there just to take a picture off the side, and honestly, I got triggered so bad, which I don't actually think that's happened all year this year. So I can actually feel myself going, so I'm going to have to talk about this quickly. But basically, I went to the side, and Nova Scotia's got quite a big Irish and Scottish influence here, and they were playing the bagpipes just down at the bottom there. And that's, I think, the first time this year that I've sort of took a step back and thought, maybe I do kind of miss home a little bit more than I thought at times. So yeah, I am going to go get a coffee to level my head back out, so don't worry, we are totally on the positive today. I'm going to get a coffee, level my head out. Hopefully we'll be able to get down there and find the source of the bagpipes. I actually would like to go down and listen to them today. And then we'll head off and explore Canada. What better way to recharge than to head into the buffet, grab a latte in a takeaway cup and just go for a walk. On the way downstairs to disembark the ship, let me show you a couple of different venues. Up first, this is the indoor pool. I always really do love an indoor pool on a cruise ship, and the one on board Meraviglia actually feels really premium. It's a beautiful space. Next up, let's go down the many stairs, yes, working off that cruise diet, to find the main Galleria. I've told you so many times in this vlog series, but this space is just so impressive. It features the longest LED dome screen at sea, and when you dock at a new country, they'll put that country flag the whole length of that huge screen. It's really cool. Anyway, it's now time to head ashore down what is possibly the shortest gangway I've ever seen on a mega ship, and then we find ourselves shoreside, right here. One of the quirkiest things I discovered with this cruise port is that when you leave the ship, before you enter the terminal building, you find yourself in a market. I don't think I've ever found that before you go into a terminal building before. I was actually really surprised. Another thing that I was really surprised about here was just how much of a taste of home I got. Look, there's a man in a kilt. Anyway, speaking of kilts, speaking of Scotland, when you shop here, you could buy tartan everything. You could buy Harris tweed bags with tartan, you could buy Highland cows wearing tartan bow ties, tartan handbags, tartan bottles and mugs, you name it, you could buy it. You've then got the Big Fiddle market inside the terminal building, and this is essentially a huge arrivals hall full of independent traders. I was really impressed by this. So if you are coming and you're looking to get a local gift from Sydney, this is where you want to come, and it's just a stone's throw away from the cruise ship. Anyway, we're not here to explore a craft market today. We are, as you know, on an absolute mission to find the giant fiddle, because that is the #1 attraction in Sydney. But will we find it? Well, after consulting the map, it turns out it was a little bit closer than I would have expected. Right, guys, do you want to laugh? So, you know I told you I was going to try to find the giant fiddle? Well, turns out I hadn't looked around every part of the ship. So, basically right behind, right now, directly beside the ship, is the fiddle. So if you are planning to come here, spider, you're not going to have to look very far at all. Now, anyway, in the terminal building there, I have managed to get a map, so I am now fully equipped in order to go and explore downtown, which apparently is just 5 or 10 minutes walk. Honestly, okay, there's maybe quite a few spiders here, but yeah, 5 or 10 minutes walk that way. I've also just seen there's a Tim Hortons here, so we might as well try and get a coffee from a Canadian chain while we're here. So look, let's go, and I'll see you downtown. Are you ready for a question that I never thought I would ask you in any of my cruise videos? What can I tell you about the world's largest fiddle? Well, this sculpture goes 60 feet into the air. That is going from the base all the way up to the very top of the bow. And it's a tribute to the folk music and the traditions of the Celtic community that call this province home. It was built in 2005, so it is a relatively modern piece of art, and you'll find it directly beside your cruise ship. Anyway, leaving the giant fiddle behind, it was time to head along into downtown. In order to get there, you just take this really flat, really smooth path that ranges from a wooden boardwalk through various little bits of parkland until eventually you'll find yourself at what I would term a very typical photo opportunity, which is the giant Sydney sign. How I managed to get a picture of this with no one clinging onto it, I will never know. And then you find yourself downtown. I was so excited to check out the main street here, but what I very quickly discovered was that there was a lot of roadworks happening here, and that unfortunately meant I was suddenly in the middle of a building site. You might think that the main street looking like this would really ruin a cruise call here. However, when you look past the fact that, yes, there's construction fences everywhere and it's obviously getting a lot of work done, and you hone in on the fact that they're really trying to improve this place, you'll soon forgive them. I honestly thought this port of call was truly charming. I really, really enjoyed my visit here, and I would love to go back when more things feel open and also when a lot of the construction was over. Let me leave you with a few shots so that you can get a feel for what was around the town, and I'll see you at Tim Hortons. Guys, do you know what? It's just as well that we were holding out for a Canadian coffee chain, because my Tim Hortons is basically all that we can get our hands on here. So the town is more or less closed today. We appear to be visiting on some kind of national holiday, but it wasn't advertised anywhere on the ship, and I also, through my research, didn't realise today was a holiday. So unfortunately there's not a great deal to do here. It's a really, really small port anyway, but what could be open actually is shut, so we can't walk around the shops, there's no cafes open. It just really is Tim Hortons here, and then further down there's like a Subway that you can go to. But nevertheless, it's always a good chance to just get around and explore what a town looks like on a holiday, because all the locals come out, people tend to not be working, so yeah, you could look at this and think, oh, that's annoying. But to be honest, I prefer it because you get to meet so many more local people. Now, really fun fact about Nova Scotia, which I didn't know, is that 30% of the population here are Scottish or descendants from Scotland. So I am loving being somewhere for the first time in, realistically, months, where when I speak, people don't say, huh? And it's great. Everywhere I go, people are like, oh my goodness, where are you from? I've got family in Scotland. I wonder if you live near them. And it's so nice. So yeah, haven't found the bagpiper yet, but after having my little, should we call it a wobble? My little wobble back in the ship earlier, this has ended up being such a wholesome experience to get off the ship, meet so many Scottish-blooded people, and yeah, just have a wander about their beautiful little town. So look, after here, so as I say, I've got my coffee, because genuinely, when you're on your cruise, try and always spend $2 or $3 per port. And if everyone did that, these towns would benefit so much from the ships being here. So yeah, I'm going to sit here, enjoy my coffee, and then wander back through downtown and down to the ship. Right guys, we're back on the ship, and just in time for Sailaway, so you can hopefully see behind at the moment, it looks as though we're probably going to get a sunset Sailaway, providing we leave on time. So we've got about 15 minutes to go, so join me up on the top deck, let's watch what it looks like to sail out of Sydney, and then we'll come back down to the room and I'll talk you through the plan for tonight and also the rest of the video. Brilliant, see you up there. Just like that, guys, we are now back out at sea and now heading towards our next port of call, which is Charlottetown tomorrow morning. Now, the plan for tonight, I am planning, you can probably tell tonight is the tropical party on MSC. So every night, they have a different themed night down in the main Galleria section. Now, the last couple of nights have been like White Night, Glow Night, 70s Night, all that sort of thing, and tonight is tropical. So, yeah, everyone is encouraged to wear a Hawaiian / whatever shirt. And yeah, I'll probably do a separate video to talk to you about the theme nights on MSC, because what I've found, the more cruises I've done this year, they're so different, and there's some cruise lines that throw these random nights into the mix, where if you've cruised with them before, you know what to expect, but if you haven't, you kind of don't have a clue. So yeah, I'll definitely put a separate video together. Now, tonight I am going to be honest, I'm going to go down and have a look at the show, but just sort of hover at the back and see what it looks like. And after that, I am going to head along to the casino bar, because I've met a brilliant group on here where, yeah, every night for the last 3 nights, I think, we have just hung out down there and had some drinks. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So I'm going to do that tonight. I'll pop along to the tropical party and also show you guys what that looks like. But look, if you weren't coming with me, other things that you could do, you could, for example, go to a whiskey tasting. You could go to live music in the Meraviglia Lounge or a couple of the different bars. You could then go to Name That Tune. So trivia on here goes all the way through until 9 PM actually, so it's pretty late. Or you could go up to the back pool, which turns into a nightclub under the stars. So that turns into that from 10:30 PM actually. So in one of my videos, probably not this one, because it'll be quite long because we're covering 2 ports, I'll take you up and show you that. But yeah, today, I've really enjoyed today. In case you couldn't tell, yeah, I've had a lot of fun today. And I think what I would say is that if you've been watching this vlog series up until now, quite a lot of things unfortunately went wrong on day 1, day 2, day 3. And today is probably the first port day where this has felt like an MSC cruise again, because I usually will sing MSC's praises. I usually go to the top of the mountains and shout how good they are for solos and all of that. And there's just been so many things on this cruise that haven't worked. But yesterday at sea seemed to be good. Today has been good, and I'm hoping that means it's going to continue for the rest of the cruise, because we've still got a while left on here because it's a 10-night trip. Now, the other point I should just mention on dinner is that while we're talking about things not quite working, something has gone wrong with my booking on here, where for whatever reason MSC are unable to recognise me as a solo traveller. So that unfortunately means that while they still do operate with the policy of solos sitting on their own, for whatever reason they're unable to move me, apparently, despite me asking many times. The man at the desk just says, no, we don't do moves, so you're just going to have to stay there. But the other problem I'm having, to be honest, is that same crew member, unfortunately, is very rigid with dining times as well. So because I'm on the 6:30 PM dinner slot, when I'm ashore until 6 PM, by the time I come up, change, close off with everything, I'm never ready to have dinner by 6:30. And I tried to move to the later slot for a couple of nights, but as you know from my other video, it's very clearly no, because that's not the package that you paid for, sort of thing, which at the end of the day, I get it, and I'm spending a lot of time on cruise ships this year, so it's not a huge pain for me, and I can meet people in other ways. But yeah, I think if this was my one holiday of the year, I think I'd be pretty annoyed at that. So hopefully whatever that bug has been and whatever that glitch is, yeah, a more human mindset gets applied to that, because if I was on my own and I didn't feel comfortable meeting people other ways, then it could be a pretty isolating environment, to be perfectly honest with you. But yeah, I guess it's not been a problem for me because I've met people in other ways. But yeah, look, this video doesn't end now. It's going to continue. So let's go to the show. I'm then going to go to the bar and I'll take you to the tropical party. And then I'll see all of you bright and early tomorrow morning for our 10 AM arrival in Charlottetown, still in Canada. So yeah, we'll head out the room now, guys. So we're back on the ship, and you are probably watching this, if you've seen my other videos, with your hands over your eyes, terrified of what is going to come next. However, I am so glad to report that tonight, MSC felt normal again, and whoever flicked the switch to reactivate normal MSC mode, I was delighted they did. The show in the theatre was really great, and the party out in the Galleria after, while it's not really my scene, I don't really enjoy this sort of thing, people were back in a mindset where they were willing to be involved again, and everyone seemed to be really enjoying the cruise now, which was absolutely brilliant to see. One thing that I'm always so impressed with here is that LED screen. It changes constantly, and it's such a great roof for these theme parties. I absolutely love it. Anyway, tomorrow morning I will see you in our next port of call, so it's time for me to go to sleep. Guys, are you ready for part 2 of this bumper vlog? If you are, then great. If you're not, go now, get a cup of tea and come back and join me, because we're about to head off the ship in another brand new port of call. Now, I'm still here on MSC Meraviglia, and today we're docked in Charlottetown, which is part of Prince Edward Island. Now, that is actually the smallest province in all of Canada, and it's not even 300 kilometres long. So don't worry, we're not going to try and explore all 300 kilometres. Today we are heading down into the downtown area. There's 2 things that we're going to try and do today. Number 1 is they've got a huge Scarecrow Festival on here at the moment. Now, if you've never come across the Scarecrow Festival before, first of all, I need to ask you where you've been, because I absolutely love them. Basically, they tend to happen in towns and cities all around the world, and the local residents, whether they run a business or whether it's just outside their house, they build a scarecrow just based on what they can get their hands on and put it out on display, and then local people vote for it. So if you've never been to one of these, you have to. Well, I guess you're going to go to your first one today with me. So we're going to check out the Scarecrow Festival, and then second thing we're going to do today is hopefully try the world's best ice cream. Now, if you followed me for a while, a few months back we tried the world's best pizza, and to be honest, it was amazing. Now, there's a place about 0.3 of a mile from here called Cow's Creamery, and apparently the ice cream there is amazing. So look, let's get off this ship. Weather-wise right now, it's beautiful. It's about 20 degrees Celsius. Sun is shining, there's hardly a cloud in the sky. We're joined by another 2 cruise ships today, so it should be quite a busy day in port, and I'm hoping that this little town will come alive. So look, join me as we head ashore and explore Charlottetown. Let me show you Charlottetown on what is one of the most beautiful days of this cruise so far. Look at that sunshine and look at that blue sky. Anyway, Charlottetown is the capital of Prince Edward Island in Canada. You're going to find this place on the southern coast of the province, and I actually found out a really fun fact, and that is that if you do choose to live in this province, you're never more than 30 minutes away from the ocean at any one point in time. I don't know about you, but to me, that sounds like a pretty sweet place to call home. Anyway, here we are at the very back of the ship. We're joined in port today by 2 ships. The one directly in front is Viking Mars. This cruise ship was actually calling here for the very first time. So in the terminal building, you may see some literature, you may notice on the digital screens that they had quite a lot of welcome notices for Viking Mars. I've never cruised with Viking before, and I would love to know in the comments if you have. Would you recommend cruising with Viking, or would you rather stick to other cruise lines? I would love to know. Anyway, it's now time to head downstairs and leave MSC Meraviglia. Our all aboard time tonight was 6:30 PM. It's always so important to check those signs when you leave your ship to make sure you're not going to miss it. Within seconds of being ashore, I found the first thing that I need to show you today. Have you ever seen these inflatable tube men at a cruise port before? I haven't, and I couldn't believe what they were for. If you look at this shot here, you can see them positioned all the way down the dock, and there's also a fake bird flying in the sky. Now, all of these tactics were to deter regular birds from coming over to the cruise port, so they must have had quite an issue with ocean birds here before. I've never seen that at any of my cruise ports before. Heading inside the terminal building was really impressive. I didn't expect this type of setup at all. I thought it would be much smaller. There was a great tourist information centre in here, so if you wanted to head off and explore it independently, just like we were doing, you could take a map, and it had a really well defined walking route on it, so that depending on how long you wanted to walk for or how far you wanted to walk, you could pick whichever route you wanted. Now there were a lot of people in here sitting looking at their phones, which confirmed to me that yes, there absolutely must be free Wi-Fi in here, and I can tell you the Wi-Fi was actually a pretty good speed, so well worth stopping if you don't have Wi-Fi on board your cruise ship. Now to go from the cruise port along to the main downtown area, it's a really simple path. There's no traffic, it's mostly through parks, and then you end up right in the heart of it. Now if you don't want to walk, you could use the horse bus, which is essentially a bus pulled by two horses, or if you don't want to go downtown at all, why not stop and go to a ceilidh? Yes, this place is the most Scottish place I've ever been to that's not Scotland. I honestly could not believe it. Let me leave you with a couple of shots of the area just along from the port, and I'll see you when we head right into downtown to discover what is one of the most impressive local markets I've ever seen. Have you ever taken a cruise where you just happen to stumble upon the most wholesome thing? Welcome to Farm Day in the City, here in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island. This was absolutely fantastic. The whole main street was full of local suppliers, local farmers, local crafters, you name it. If it was local, it was here, trying to sell all their products. It was such a lovely way to experience a cruise port. It was the definition of local. I just absolutely loved it. You could even go to the big supermarket and get free samples, which, before you ask, yes, obviously I loaded up there. Why would I not? There was even a petting zoo. You name it, it was here. Now, throughout the course of this video, you will see a lot of scarecrows as we head around the town. You'll see them strapped to lampposts, you'll see them part of huge displays, and what I want to know in the comments is, of all the scarecrows that I'm showing you in this video, which is your favourite? Comment down below, ideally with the timestamp of exactly when you see that scarecrow on your screen, and let's see if anybody else agrees with you. Anyway, I'm going to leave you to have a little look around, and I'll see you at our next port of call, which is the main church. After the market, it was time to move across and check out a very different attraction. This is St Dunstan's Basilica, which is one of the main Roman Catholic churches here in Charlottetown. This church opened in the year 1919, which, as a Brit, seems very, very modern. In the UK, we find our churches are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years old, so it was really fascinating to get into a church that was built in the 1900s. I absolutely love when I travel, checking out basilicas, cathedrals, churches, synagogues, wherever I can get in to experience what religion looks like in that part of the world. I find it absolutely fascinating. Anyway, it was then time to nip over the road for a coffee, and that's exactly where I'll catch up with you next. Guys, first impressions of this town. Wow. Genuinely, this is one of the best cruise ports that I've docked in such a long time. the minute you get off that ship, the locals are all in the terminal, they're all trying to talk to you. And do you know what the biggest thing that hit home for me is? They're not trying to get you to book things, they're not trying to get you to buy things, they're not trying to get you to pay money for things. They all seem genuinely really interested in making sure that you've got plans and you've got a good day ahead. I've never got off in a port and met people that friendly before, but yeah, very good first impressions. Now, anyway, as you know, we bumped into that farmers market, which I think is called Farms in the City. I think it's only on for one day, and it's basically where the entire main street is just full of local producers, and the whole place is buzzing. There's live music, there's a beer garden, it's a lot of fun. Now, anyway, I've retreated into this little cafe turn art gallery. I'm the only person in it, which is absolutely amazing. I've got my pumpkin spice latte ready to go. And see, to be honest, I'm just gonna sit here for half an hour and forget about the world and just chill out, because sometimes I think when you're on these big mega ships, it's all go and it's really busy and really loud all the time. So I just sometimes need to just disappear and have a little bit of a reset. And this half hour will be perfect for that. So look, I guess the next time you join me, we'll be back out there and we will be heading down towards the ice cream and we'll be checking out more scarecrows on the way. Let's head in and check out what is apparently the world's best ice cream. I know, I'm also skeptical, but I'm more than willing to do some market research here and try it out. Welcome to CEILIDH. This place was launched in 1983 and it started life right here on Prince Edward Island. One thing was really clear as soon as you walk in here, and that is that they are incredibly proud of what they do. They've got this plaque here to show you where it was voted #1, and then of course they have a huge gift shop attached where if you wanted to buy it with CEILIDH branding, chances are you could. There was towels, there was hats, there was mugs, absolutely everything. They even had a totally different food section here. Had everything. Can we pause for a minute and appreciate that one of those t-shirts says Dairy Potter? I thought it was excellent. Anyway, back to the main event. Here is the ice cream. Here at CEILIDH, you can get 32 flavours as an absolute minimum, so there is plenty to choose from. Here's the menu if you want to pause and have a look and check out the prices, and I will see all of you back outside in the sunshine for one of my most enjoyable taste tests yet. Apparently, I've been looking forward to this all day. Apparently, we're about to have the best ice cream on the planet, which is a very bold claim. What I would say, it's very creamy. I mean, can you see? Look at how good this looks. But anyway, the proof is in the tasting. Okay, very good. I'm not an ice cream expert, but I'm willing to say it's very good. Don't know if it's the best I've ever tasted. Don't know if it's the best I've ever tasted, but it's very good. So I went for the flavour that's got like toffee, caramel, vanilla, and yeah, it's excellent. Now this chain is called CEILIDH, and they've got one here. They've also got another one down at the ship, so you can get it basically all over this town. It cost me about $6 Canadian to get that ice cream, which, to be honest, given the fact it's lovely, isn't actually that bad. But look, we need to head down back to the ship because otherwise we're going to miss it, which, yeah, you know me, like to cut it nice and tight getting back, so we should get back probably about 15 minutes before all aboard time, so by my standards, in plenty of time. So look, I'm going to cut now, finish this ice cream because you don't need to watch that, and I'll see all of you back down on board MSC Meraviglia. Guys, what a day. Do you know those days when you go ashore and I've just had like the most wholesome day today? I really enjoyed yesterday. Today's been excellent. Today's been one of my favourite cruise ports so far, and I would never offer that award lightly. So yeah, I feel like I've left a wee bit of me here. So at some point, I'm going to have to come back and visit again because yeah, very, very impressed with this little place. Now, anyway, the plan for tonight, this episode is going to end very, very shortly because you've probably been watching long enough now. Because the problem with combining two brand new port days is that it can sometimes get a little bit longer than normal. So I'm going to take you up and show you what it looks like to sail out of this port. And at that point, I will end the video. So if you're looking to see what life's like out and about around the ship, then head over to my channel and check out my other videos, because I'll have a ship tour, I'll have some videos to talk to you about the events and the entertainment and things on board here. So yeah, I'm not going to keep it running tonight, otherwise you're going to be here all night, and nobody has got time for that. So look, wherever you're watching from and wherever you joined me from today, thank you so much for watching. It genuinely means so much that you take time out of your day to come and watch my videos, and I really hope that you've enjoyed it. Now, if you have, remember to jump down below and give the video a thumbs up, which essentially just helps me to grow the channel. And if you are new here, it'd be amazing if you think about joining me on my adventure as I jump ship to ship to ship to ship to ship. Oh, nearly got caught out there for the rest of the year. So yeah, let's go and watch Sailaway from Charlottetown. Nearly forgot the port name there. And I'll see all of you in my next video. Brilliant. Cheers, guys. Bye.
At 29 and I find myself wondering what did happen to the last 10. I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again. Come one in a dozen, the other 11 give something from nothing. I sit here looking for an answer. Maybe the biggest question was in the last chapter. You gave me the soul I have today. Without you I never could have moved away. But now I see what you teach. I do believe I always should have stayed. Yeah. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. This really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours again. One day I'll be One day I'll be yours. One day I'll be
If you enjoyed this video today, did you know that you can become a member of my YouTube channel for an exclusive behind the scenes look at some of the ships that I'm travelling on? If you're over on Patreon, then I would love to see you over there. All you have to do to join me on that community is just search www.patreon.com/Fraser@Sea. Both my YouTube memberships and my Patreon site lead directly to me getting on more cruise ships, and both offer a completely behind the scenes look at what's going on.